Welcome to The Fold. Another day, another brand new chapter within the A Couple of Cuckoos manga. Hey guys, how's it hanging? It is Eric, Blue Jay here, and prepare to see a sight that we haven't seen for a really long time. That's right, after an amazing spring break, the school year has rolled around once more in a new term. Now you've got to remember, we've just got back from the Hotel Wars arc in Hokane. The entire reason of that arc's purpose actually leads up to what we're going to be talking about here today, and that is Foul 206. But before we dive in, there's a few things we should reminisce over to jog our memories. In Foul 168, Sachi finally confessed her feelings to Nagi, and asks if she can manage to get accepted into Megidogawa Academy for high school. Would he consider to go out with her? Nagi, on the other hand, didn't know how to reply to her. This was a very delicate situation between the two of them, but he leaves her at it, and asks if she can wait for an answer from him when she gets settled into high school. A few chapters later, in Foul 180, Sachi retracts her confession and feels it was foolish to have a condition where if she passed her entrance exams into the school, then he'd go out with her. She felt as if that was a cowardly confession and unfair to Nagi. She instead asks in the future, when she's a bit more grown up, she'd like Nagi to allow her to confess to him again. And from there on, Nagi did all he could to help his non-biological little sister study. Even went out of his way to work for her entrance fees to make her dreams come true. So with all that in mind, we're entering the end phase to that all. What the last 38 chapters built up. So yes indeed, Nagi and the gang all reunite for their third year of high school. We find out that the entire gang, Nagi, Erika, Hiro, and Shion, will be in the same class, that of Class A. We also learn a bit about how Megidogawa's classes are determined, and that is by course selection. If a student fails to change up their course selection after their second year, then they'll automatically stay in the same class as their previous year. With that in mind, the gang's trying to have a conversation, but is interrupted by a random noise commotion coming from the entrance hall. Looking over, we see Sachi, and instead of being surprised, thanks to jogging our memory, we already know that Sachi were to be appearing at the academy this term for her first year of high school. This means Nagi and Sachi finally attend the same school. But on the other hand, we're not sure if, even though Sachi retracted her confession afterwards, will Nagi still give her an answer like he promised before? So this is the second time we get to see Sachi in the Megidogawa Academy uniform. If you'd like to see the first time we got to see this, check out this video later where I cover just that. Sachi had the exact same effect that Erika had, which means she can unwillingly attract people and their attention without even having to lift a finger. And she already has a bit of a fan base around her making the noise. This is just like Erika when she got transferred to Megidogawa Academy in Foul 9/Episode 5. The only difference is everybody and their grandmas knew who Erika Amano is, the famous Instagram influencer, so everybody was very shy to approach her. This is sorta different in Sachi's case in the modern time, as yes, people are a little nervous to approach her, but if you compare both of their crowds, you'd notice that Sachi's crowd was smaller, but circled closer around her. One of the students can even be heard wondering if she's on Instagram. At the ending of the previous chapter, Foul 205, we saw that Sachi has messaged Nagi, but we didn't know what the message contained. In this chapter, however, we see a flashback to what the message contained, and why it wasn't shown in full during Foul 205. It was Sachi asking Nagi she wants to keep it a secret that they're siblings, and for him to not talk to her. She even goes on ahead and claims to have been teased a lot in junior high about him, just like how Erika wanted to keep their engagement under wraps when she transferred. And the reason why the full conversation wasn't shown last chapter was because the audience was supposed to have forgotten that we were to see Sachi in high school, or have that, pushed to the back of our memory. Brilliantly disguised. People who haven't jogged their memory would have been quite surprised to see her standing within the entrance hall. But anyway, the two most popular girls in the school save the day and befriend Sachi publicly, saving her from her adoring crowd. However, regarding Nagi and Sachi, their distant interactions has Sachi's knees like jelly, always blushing when their eyes meet, like a high school crush. Even going back to the knee thing, she's even tripped on a top step of a set of stairs after eye contact, signifying that, just like every other time Sachi has tripped and fallen in the past, her big brother was always by her side in some way. And remember even further back to Foul 183, we heard that Sachi were to be getting a job at Umi no Tai. Remember that? Yeah. Within the latest Foul 206, we finally get our first peek of Sachi actually working her first job here, since every time before she had just been volunteering. So it's very nice to see all these past Sachi events come full circle now. This chapter ends off on a nice touching family moment with Sachi having already started her shift, her second shift that is, while Yohei and Namie were out shopping. Nagi returns to the restaurant and asks Sachi about her emotional first day of high school. She's gone from embarrassed to angry to clumsy to blushies. Literally everything possible. She's even waited at the gate until the end of the day, waiting for their eyes to meet again, so she can make sure he saw her leave. However, seeing her big brother at school, to her, he felt like a completely different person. We already know how Sachi sees Nagi as a studying, antisocial, grumpy, loner genius. But Nagi has changed a lot ever since he's met Erika. He's almost like, well, to quote Sachi, a completely different person, which includes his school life. He's befriended Hiro and Shion, and even socializes a bit with the nerds. Sachi wasn't ready to see this new side of her brother's school life she wasn't aware of. However, she claims she's realized Nagi has changed a lot since then. Since junior high, that is. Almost like someone she didn't know, and how she felt sorta relieved. She thinks this more social version of him is pretty cool too. Perfect timing pops around the corner, where Yohei and Namie return home. They've forgotten to snap a picture of their children in the same school uniform the day prior, so they thought now was just as a good time as ever. And after a parental flashback to Nagi's junior high days, they took a new photo in the same place, right in front of the doors. Which of course, Nagi in the same pose as usual in family photos. Classic. So yeah, a very nice chapter indeed. I'm very excited to see Sachi's high school days finally shown and will continue as such. Once again, we're not sure if Nagi is going to return his promise I mentioned earlier, on account that she had retracted her confession. But let me know in the comment section, what do you think will be made of Sachi finally attending high school? The same high school as Nagi. My prediction? I think that Sachi is going to develop a brand new personality specifically for high school. Pretending that Nagi and herself don't know each other. I think that the high school trope of the high school crush is going to be played out here quite soon. Once again, forcing Nagi to see Sachi in a new light. With all that in mind though, thank you all so much for watching my video. If you've enjoyed, why not leave a like? Thank you so much for your continued support. That really goes a long way in helping out the channel. If you'd like to see more A Couple of Cuckoos videos, and that subscribe button hasn't been pressed yet, why not change that? Subscribe and stay up to date with our Cuckoos discussion. If you'd like to see the first ever time Sachi was seen in a Megidogawa Academy uniform, click the video you're currently seeing on your screen. Or maybe if you'd rather see some awesome gameplay for the quintessential quintuplets 5 memories spent with you, click the other video that you're currently seeing on your screen.